Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're live on YouTube and all over social media. It's great to be back with you on this Monday. On Saturday, I hung out with Neil Saavedra and Bill Handel for a quick moment at the Wild Fork. Had some good food, had some good conversation. It was nice to meet up with some of you listeners. We'll be doing our own thing here on Later with Mo Kelly in the coming weeks. We'll have some information about that. But here's some other information I can give you regarding this week and future weeks. This week, we're trying to lock in the exact time, but I'm pretty confident. While I'm turning over a new leaf, I'm not going to worry about being jinxed. I'm just going to say, I'm going to put it out there. We're going to say, look, we have these guests coming, and it's just going to happen. All right? We're going to speak it into existence.
Do it like that?
We're going to do it like that.
Wow.
I'm tired of waiting.
Okay.
I'm not going to play scared anymore. Actor Tim Blake Nelson will be joining us Wednesday evening to discuss his new boxing movie, Bang Bang, which is going to hit theaters in limited release this Friday. I'm talking about Tim Blake Nelson from The Incredible Hulk, Meet the Fockers, Minority Report, Watchmen on HBO, and more recently, Captain America, Brave New World, as he played the main villain, Samuel Stearns, the leader. That's Wednesday evening. And wait.
I got to find some wood to knock on.
Wait. There's more. Derek Huff, Thursday evening, is going to call into the show to discuss his new job as host of E! Entertainment's Extra. You, of course, know him as world-renowned choreographer and 6-time Dancing with the Stars champion. That is on Thursday.
The Derek Huff? Mo. Okay. I don't know if we should be talking about this early.
But wait! There's more. We're giving away some cool prizes as well. Direct from Sweden, a tribute to ABBA. It's going down at the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts. In fact, I'll remind you where the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts is. It's where I got married.
Wow.
The same location. Direct from Sweden, a tribute to ABBA. They're going to be performing this Sunday, the 15th, and we're giving away 2 pairs prior to the 15th. Dig up those bell bottoms and platform heels and get ready to disco with these super troopers. It's a flashback to the 70s in the fun tribute show celebrating the signature sound and style of ABBA. Yes, they're going to do all the hits. Winner Takes It All, Mamma Mia, Money, 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 and Dancing Queen, of course. That's coming up this week. Prizes we're giving away. But wait. There's more.
No.
We have a bunch of tickets that we're giving away to Footage Fest 25. In fact, there's a special event at Footage Fest, which is coming up on Thursday night, September 25th at 6:30 p.m. There's a special 20th anniversary screening of the indie cult classic Napoleon Dynamite, the quirky offbeat film that took the world by surprise and became a cultural phenomenon. I, in fact, will be moderating an in-depth panel afterward featuring the star of Napoleon Dynamite, John Heder, Napoleon himself. We'll be giving away plenty of tickets this Friday as part of Name That Movie Cult Classic. to Footage Fest, that particular event where you'll also be able to hang around for the panel, which I'm moderating afterwards. So much good stuff. Only connected with Later with Mo Kelly.
It's actually too much good stuff.
Too much.
I'm a little worried. I mean, you put it all out there. Normally, we try to just wait till the moment of.
Well, you know, it is September, which is the month before October, and October is the month of Halloween, and that means it's getting ready to happen again.
Don't say it.
The Later with Mo Kelly Halloween Soiree, the second annual. So get your costumes ready now, because damn it, Mark Ronner is going to join us again.
I think I have an extra costume from last year because I ordered 2 and only used 1.
I did too.
Okay.
I have an extra costume, so I might have that, or I'm going to think of something else to do. But it's going to be a big 60 days here with Later with Mo Kelly.
It's almost too much to process, isn't it?
It's definitely too much to process, because there's some other things that we're working on that I definitely can't talk about as of yet.
I can't believe it.
You don't have to. You can just come along for the ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dr. Sam Zia, Sam the Sex Doctor, is on the ones and twos, minding the show tonight, guiding us all along the way. It's good to see you, Sam.
Always a pleasure, Mo. How you doing?
I am doing well, and Tuala and I, we're working behind the scenes because we are scheduling a cruise for friends and family. So it's going to be, we'll let you know about that.
So ready.
We're trying to get Mark on it as well.
Not going to happen, but I appreciate that.
Mark. Oh my God, Mark.
Never going to happen.
Try it.
No, it's just not going to happen. But the effort is heartwarming. It's heartwarming.
I don't
you know how
want
much
to hear.
fun you would have.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about I wasn't included. I wasn't invited. You didn't even think to ask me. No, we asked your ass. You just told us no.
I appreciate that. And I like how you don't take no for an answer. That's an American trait. I like that.
Okay.
Hey, you just had to make it weird.
What?
You had
What?
to make it weird.
Reel that back in.
Oh,
Reel
by the
that
way,
back in.
before we go to break, happy Star Trek Day to everybody. Today's Star Trek Day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Live long and prosper.
And what do we get out of it?
The Force is with us.
I don't know what we get out of it.
That was a nice impression. I caught that.
You do one. I think you're better.
Damn it, Jim.
Wait, that's McCoy.
Okay. Well, you said Star Trek. You didn't specify who.
That was highly illogical.
Okay, so you did Spock there. So
it's pretty lame. I can't do impressions.
My impression of William Shatner is something in between. It needs a little work, but you know, it's like it's kind of like Alex Trebek, but not quite Alex Trebek. It's like Alex Trebek and William Shatner sitting in on Jeopardy. It's like, oh, Spock, what are we supposed to do? And it's like, no, sorry. The answer we're looking for is, what is Star Trek Day? So it's in between those two.
Okay, that'll do in a pinch. That's all right.
It works.
On the show tonight, welcome to our world. It seems that when you lock away all the important sundries and products that we need, like toothpaste or shampoo at the store, because they're worried about the 5-finger discount, people walking out with it, it's a drain on sales. In other words, people are not taking the time to stand around and wait for that person with the key to come to the cabinet so we can buy our various items. We're going to tell you about that next. And when I say welcome to our world, well, depending on where you live, we've been dealing with that for the past 25, 30 years. So the fact that it's an actual news story made me laugh out loud. We'll tell you about that next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly. It's Later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and also on YouTube. And depending on where you live, depending on where you previously lived, this may be unfamiliar to you. You walk into a convenience store, you walk into, let's say, a Rite Aid, a CVS, or you walk into even a grocery store. You will find items, or I should say, depending on where you live, you may not be accustomed to seeing certain items unavailable for you to just pick up by yourself without customer assistance and take it to the register. I'm talking about shampoo, obviously alcohol, or it could be a toothbrush. It could be any minor item. It could be somewhat a semi-expensive item, but more and more retailers are locking down their product out of fear or prevention of theft. But here's the thing that most people did not know. And depending on where you live, well, if you live where I used to live or presently live, it's something you've always dealt with. So this is not surprising to you. But when I open up KTLA, yes, I'm calling you out by name. When I open up KTLA.com and it said that locked up merchandise is driving customers away, I laughed out loud. According to this, recent studies show that customers are fed up with locked up merchandise, and many are considering shopping elsewhere as a result. Hello, welcome to our world. Welcome to my world. I don't remember a time in which I walked into a CVS or a Rite Aid or a grocery store in which there weren't aisles and aisles of things obviously locked up, and I had to push this little button, boom, boom, to have some customer associate from somewhere in the store come and help me out some 10 to 15 minutes later.
It used to just be in the adult products around the CVS's that I'm at, but now it's like everything.
Okay, well, then you lived in a different part of town as me.
Yeah.
Because where I lived, Twala, you know what I'm getting ready to talk about. It was just commonplace. You walk down any and every aisle, and just about everything was locked up. And yes, it is a deterrent to shopping. It's a pain in the ass to have to hit that bell. Ding dong, to hopefully have someone come and help you to get a bottle of shampoo.
Deodorant, you name it.
Of course, cigarettes.
So many products were behind that Lexan glass case, and the person will come around slow, take forever, and you didn't really have a lot of options. I remember coming up and thinking, like, I don't want to have to drive a city over to go
at least one
to the
city.
CVS.
No,
at
Twala,
least,
tell the truth.
At a minimum.
Yeah, at least one city over. And that's the thing that people, when I'm laughing at this story in KTLA, it's only because, oh my goodness, it's a privilege and pleasure to not have to shop at a place where everything is locked up. And it's something that, wait, you haven't lived until you walk into a KFC with bulletproof glass. I call that Thursday.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
That's typical. Going to any fast food. I'm not even talking about a bank. I'm talking about fast food where they have Lexan glass. And to think that this is supposedly front page news where you walk into a store and everything is locked up. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go shop somewhere else. It's a luxury to even have that option. That's my point.
Every woman that I know will tell you, growing up in Altadena and Pasadena, going to the beauty supply place, you could not go and look at a single thing that wasn't behind. And get this, a cage. They didn't even have the decency to just have clear plastic casings. No, they had things locked behind a little gate, and you would come and they would stand there with you while you looked at it. And if you wanted to purchase it, they would say, okay, cool, thank you. Take it from you and then take it up to the counter and say it'll be there when you're ready to check out.
I tell you, I wish I lived in a world where I could say, you know what? I'd rather not shop here. In fact, I'm going to drive to Manhattan Beach where they don't have everything locked up. Or then I'll go to Redondo Beach or maybe Hermosa Beach. I don't know. I might even drive all the way to Beverly freaking Hills because you know what? I have that option. This is just funny to me because now it's like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. I cannot get my shampoo without someone helping me because of retail theft. And let me tell you about that retail theft. According to the National Retail Federation, which declined to provide specifics, it says that the impact of retail theft reported a staggering 93% increase in the average number of shoplifting incidents in 2023 compared to 4 years earlier. That may or may not be true because there have been some conflicting reports about how much theft was actually taking place as opposed to certain places price gouging. I know Mark Ronner and I, we did talk about that years ago. But my point is this. If you haven't been paying attention or if you've lived in a place where nothing was locked up, God bless you. I shouldn't say God freaking bless you, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's something it's funny to me. It's like, oh my gosh. And then you got to serve about, oh my gosh, I have to look both ways before I cross the street or I have to look over my shoulder when I go to the gas station late at night. Oh my gosh, there's crime in my neighborhood. Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Come on in. The water's warm.
So it's not just for booze and condoms. You really should show some empathy, Mo.
I guess people were accustomed to having cigarettes and booze. And I don't know, why did they lock up the condoms?
Because they don't want to have kids going in and picking at it and making, but also I get the feeling it's because they get some kind of secret pleasure out of whenever you push the button, it's like help wanted in condom aisle. And then you see like somebody running over there. Everybody in the entire store just heard that you're going in there and getting some.
Then you have to ask for the magnums.
Yeah.
What I would always do is if I heard that little bing boom, assistance need in the liquor aisle, whatever that, I would make a bolt over there because they know that they're not coming back to that spot for at least 20, 30 minutes. Get it then while everyone's lined up there, or you're just out of luck. You're SOL.
Yeah.
They're not going to come to the same place 2 or 3 times. They're not going to help one person and then help another and then another because they keep wanting to go back to the liquor cabinet. No. You better buy then or not at all.
Also, they judge you for your booze choice, too.
They judge you for all your choices.
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't you work at a grocery store at one point?
Yeah, I did, but it was real trashy. It was during the supermarket strike. I think this was like 87, 88, baby.
Yeah, but didn't they train you about how not to comment on what people were buying?
No. They didn't train. When you're a scab, they don't train you at all. You come in, they just say, hey, just walk around, get carts, whatever. I mean, they didn't train us how to bag stuff. Anyone who went shopping during that period, you hated Ralph's because you were like, these people don't know what they're doing at all. It's like, no, we don't. They didn't tell us to do anything.
You think they're trained not to comment on what people... These people are little Columbos in the checkout line. Like, oh, I see you've got some tampons and ice cream. I can see can see what your situation is.
No. Something really, really crazy. I went to the lottery place, like where you can go and cash big tickets, right? Because I had a ticket. Yeah. I had no idea how much it was valued, but they wouldn't cash it at the corner store. So I said, oh, this must be big. So I went over to the lottery place. It's kind of hood adjacent. There was someone in there, and they don't know me. They don't know the other people in there. There's someone behind the Lexan glass. So, sir, how much did you win? Was that $10,000? And I'm just like, lady, what the hell are you doing? I left.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, so wait, if you're telling me that you're announcing what people have won, I'm like, man, like I would never go back to that lottery cashing place ever.
Attention,
like,
people of Earth.
That's just not what you do. But Mo, you and I, we grew up getting food through Lexan protected glass.
You have to put the money in the slot.
Yeah.
Then they'll take the money and then they'll put whatever your item is in the slot back
in
to you.
Bigger box and send it back to you with your change.
It'll probably end up as a front page story on KTLA.com. It probably will. And they'll really like, oh my gosh, they've installed Lexan glass at KFC and Wendy's and McDonald's. It's like, yeah, where y'all been?
You can't have somebody just breaking in and getting that secret recipe with the 11 herbs and spices. What are you thinking?
Well, the Colonel stole that in the first place.
What?
So it's thievery on top of thievery.
Stop that right now.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. When we come back, well, we have to say welcome back to TB. Tuberculosis is back in town. No applause?
I was going to cough.
Either is appropriate.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Yes, tuberculosis is back. Not that it actually left, but it just feels kind of different. You ever have a friend who's in prison for 30, 40 years? You have like a welcome home party? Or maybe that's just me.
No, I have not.
No, well, okay, I have.
Oh, okay.
But a person goes away for a long time, and then they come back, and it feels like a celebration of sorts. Now, tuberculosis hadn't completely been eradicated, but I feel as if, and it's just these are feelings, not facts, I just feel as if we're not as concerned or as respectful of deadly diseases as we once used to be.
Health officials in India are working to identify people who may have had contact with an Indio high school student who has tuberculosis. The LA Daily News says they want them to be screened for the disease. The teen reportedly fell ill in the spring prior to the end of the school year in the Desert Sands Unified School District. The Daily News says the student is isolating at home and is expected to fully recover.
And sometimes when we hear statements like that, fully recover, or someone didn't die, we wrongly assume that it's not dangerous or it's not a threat to the public. And I talk about this against the backdrop of what Florida's getting ready to do to remove all the vaccine mandates. Oh, Mo, you're just a vaxxer. Well, I happen to believe in the public health. I actually do believe that medicine and science has an important role to play in our collective health and also collective survival. There's a reason. There's a real important reason why life expectancy is more than the age of, 35. It's not by accident. We didn't get here by luck and some sort of shared herd immunity. It's more than that. And then when I think about next year at this time, if Florida goes through or what it's going to go through with vaccines and removal of the mandates, we may have an everyday occurrence of measles infections or whooping cough or, of course, tuberculosis. I haven't talked about how, at least in the state of California, I can't speak about other states, but in California, teachers have to get a TB test every single year.
We are actually in the process right now at the school where I work at where we are updating and making sure that TB tests are up to date, active, and that if you're not, we're already telling folks, got to go and get that because you literally cannot work there without the TB test clearance.
Cannot. That's just imagine for a moment that we remove the vaccine mandate for teachers getting their TB test. That doesn't impact just the teacher. That impacts every kid in the classroom. That impacts parents who are coming to pick up their kids from the classroom. I mean, that impacts everyone. I don't understand why we got to this place where vaccines were somehow evil. When you think about the millions and millions of lives that it's saved and the livelihoods it has saved, it just confounds me.
It's actually not the vaccines that have saved people. I heard today somewhere that it was their belief in God that kept them free. I can't remember which middle America state said that they were like, no one in our church has been vaccinated. We all believe in a higher power, and that has kept us true.
I believe in a higher power. I'm a person of faith. I'm a Christian. I have no problem professing that. But I also know that faith without works is dead. In other words,
yes,
you just because you believe, there is still an active component. There is still a requirement for us as individuals to do things to protect ourselves. There's this old, semi-fake parable talking about the man who was stranded on top of a roof, during the flood. And, I can't remember exactly how it goes.
Three things come by.
A boat comes by and says, no, I'm waiting on the Lord to save me. I don't know. A balloon comes by to lift him up. Oh, no, I'm waiting on the Lord to save me. And a helicopter comes by. Oh, no, wait on the Lord to save me. And he eventually dies. He drowns. He goes to heaven and says, well, Lord, why hast thou forsaken me? And St. Peter's God says, well, I sent you a boat. I sent you a balloon. I sent you a helicopter. What the frick do you want? And that's where I think we are where we are right now, where we have done things to further protect ourselves. We've been given tools to extend our lives and livelihoods because you don't necessarily need to die from something for it to ruin your life, or you have a health malady that you're going to be paying for the rest of your life. Ask Mitch McConnell and polio, for example. There are these things which have been made available to us through creation, science, or some combination of divine intervention in science. And now we're going to say, no, we don't need it. We have become far too accustomed to not dealing with diseases on a daily basis. We have wrongly deluded ourselves that we're better off without vaccines. And no, we're not.
I have an interesting stat to throw at you that's pertinent here. This is from the Bulwark, hardly some left-wing rag. There is a nearly fourfold difference between the rate of COVID deaths in the best-performing U.S. state and the worst-performing U.S. states, and the biggest difference was vaccination. Fourfold.
F your facts. Okay, your facts don't mean anything.
I'm sorry.
But there is going to be a cost to this. You cannot be so cavalier in your dismissal of vaccines and their role and relevancy and keeping our children safe and healthy, and by extension, the rest of us, you cannot be so cavalier and dismissive that there's not also an associated cost. There is going to be a cost which includes people's lives, and it's going to be children. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. You can't disregard the importance of all these vaccines and not think that there's going to be a penalty or price that we're all going to have to pay.
Do this little experiment. I've done it. When you see something in the news about vaccines being denied or something like that, ask Grok or the Google AI or whatever, how many deaths will this cause? And see what answer you get. It's not zero.
I'll make it simpler than that. Each time you see a breakout of the measles, each time you see a breakout of any of these thought to be controlled diseases, every single time, I want you to just Google the connection to unvaccination. All these measles outbreaks, every single one is connected to an unvaccinated population.
I have a kind of interesting thought because, me and my, education with the, human sexuality and stuff. And one of the things that I researched was penile cancer. And the rate of penile cancer in places where circumcision does not happen at all is sky high. In Israel, where it's circumcision is part of, what
the
happens,
law.
That's the law, it's 0%. So this goes along the same kind of way of thinking when you say, look at the places that have the highest mortality rates when it comes to COVID or other illnesses, and look at the correlation to the death rates to where people are getting vaccinated the most. It's always going to be places where vaccinations have longer life expectancy, less mortality rates. It's just the way that it goes. There's peer-reviewed studies.
They don't know what that is.
Exactly. And that's
They don't
the
know what that
point.
is.
You have to have stuff
They have
that's
a doctor on
provable.
YouTube.
Yeah, no, this is stuff that has to be provable over and over and over again. And here's the problem. You're always going to find somebody and this is why one of the biggest things in research, you don't need to see, this is a peer-reviewed study. Don't necessarily look at that. Look at the fine print on the study. See who's funding it. That determines wherever the money is coming from, determines where a lot of the outcomes, how a lot of the outcomes get interpreted.
Look at you talk about do your research.
What do them experts know anyhow?
Yeah, no, just pay attention to where the money is coming from. That usually determines how the outcomes get determined on the research.
Here's the problem. One of the problems is because in our anti-science, anti-vaccination discussions, we are antithetical to science in the discussions. What I mean by that is if you look at the scientific method, you don't have a predetermined conclusion, and then you set all the variables to lead to that conclusion. If we're using actual science, we'll let the science decide what the conclusion is. But in our debates about vaccines, you start with the premise, vaccines cause autism, or vaccines are killing people. And then you want to cherry pick this or that or the other to fulfill the desire of that being true, which is antithetical to the scientific method, which is observable, which is repeatable. And it's hard to have these scientific discussions and debates with people who don't value science.
Well, as you said, faith without works is dead, but also life without vaccines will equal death. And that, sir, is where we are headed.
It's
I'm
later.
sorry.
It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And once again, welcome back, Tuberculosis. We missed you.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Oh, later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and live on YouTube. One of the ongoing conversations we have is the evolving California economy. And it's complicated, and it's really complicated if you want to have a discussion without politics, because politics often clouds our reality. Politics will tell you, look, we don't want to have rent control. Politics will say people should be able to make as much money as they want as landlords. And then the same people will say the rent's too damn high. Can't have it both ways. For example, also you have people who will say, well, we need to raise the minimum wage here in California. Fine, got it. But that's going to be at the expense of other people because as fast food restaurants or other businesses raise the minimum wage or also raise wages within their business matrix, there's going to be a trickle-down effect. Now, I know that there is greed involved where we know a lot of these corporations can pay their employees more, and oftentimes they just choose not to. But here is the reality. We always talk about, hey, we only want this. We love capitalism. We don't want to have any type of socialism or communism. But at the same time, you complain about the costs of things. I'm not advocating for socialism or communism. I'm saying most people don't understand what it means for capitalism to do its thing. California minimum wage is increasing again in 2026, and it's going to rise to $16.90 an hour on New Year's Day 2026. Here is the uncomfortable rub. Yes, there's going to be an increase in the minimum wage, but the cost of living is about 12.6% above the national average. So whatever that minimum wage increase is for you or someone in your household, it likely won't make a bit of damn difference because the cost of living in California, as we know, is exponentially greater than any increase. And we'll complain about burgers being too high. We'll complain about real estate and rent being too damn high. We'll complain about eggs being too high. Well, I don't want to go down an economic history lesson lane, but that's the way it's going to be because people are always going to endeavor to make more money. And because capitalism is synonymous with greed, what was the movie? Greed is Good. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. That is how we approach everything in this economy. We want to complain about how much gas costs, but at the same time, we want to say, hey. We want unfettered capitalism. But gas is too high. And you want to blame the president, knowing that the president doesn't have anything to do with the price of gas. We're sensitive to prices, but all at the same time, we also know that we don't want to pay the prices which are consistent with unfettered capitalism. And this is where I hate agreeing with Mark Ronner.
Here it comes.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I was talking to people this Saturday when I went out to see Neil Saavedra and Bill Handel, and there were some very, very nice fans and people who were listeners who were complimenting the show, and they said, do you and Mark really dislike each other?
Really?
I'm absolutely serious, 100% serious.
And what did you tell them?
And I said, incomplete answer.
Did you explain to them how obsessed you are with me?
Let you tell the story.
No, that's okay. I feel like I've said too much already.
The point being, there are some things that we absolutely agree upon, and this will be one of them. In the sense that because of greed, we're never going to get off this treadmill. Never. Businesses, restaurants, grocery stores, whatever, gas stations, they're going to charge as much as they can, given circumstances, whatever the price elasticity is, to see how much Americans will pay for their products. They will blame the minimum wage, which is not really the highest portion of their expenses. It's a considerable amount, and they're always endeavoring to get rid of employees. But it's if you can spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on your CEO and your upper level corporate structure, don't talk to me about, how hard business is or your revenue projections. I think you're insulting most people's intelligence. But since we've made this choice, we're going to have to deal with the high prices and also the corporate pay and the golden parachutes and just deal with it.
I think the workers kind of get scapegoated for having the gall, the sheer nerve to want a living wage. And that's not really the problem, okay? There was something on Twitter over the weekend. Robert Reich, the ex-labor secretary, tweeted, Walmart spent $35 billion on stock buybacks from 2019 to 2024, enough to give each of its 2.2 million employees annual bonuses of $2,700 or so. Last year, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon pocketed $27.4 million, which is 930 times the company's median employee pay. Textbook corporate greed. So when they're doing this and they're complaining about wanting to give people a higher minimum wage, you understand that it's framed wrongly as a right-left conservative, liberal.
Take the politics out of it.
Capitalism, socialism issue. It's just greed because taxpayers make that up. We're all taxpayers, whether we're liberal or conservative. I don't want to pay to make up the difference for these people to live while Walmart's CEO gets richer. We might as well just write a check directly to the CEO. Seriously.
It's not difficult math to understand, but we like complaining and we like scapegoating. We like blaming, and all the time we don't realize that the problem and the solution are right there, right in front of us.
Well, it's like, could you scrape by on maybe 15 million while your employees can eat without going on public assistance? Could you maybe suffer with that?
Well, but at the same time, people will complain about people living off the government, people who are on government assistance. You know what I mean? It's all connected. If there was less greed at the top, then you would have a more vibrant middle class, and you would have a better America.
Who is really living off the government is the question, though. It's the CEO that's doing it.
Well, that's for another discussion on another day. I can't disagree with you. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.